everybody, and welcome back to Dice with Death. Far too zoomed in. There we go. Much
Hello.
better.
So
Theron, where's Theron? He's still alive, right?
Malcifer spared his life and banished him from Winter's Reach. Presumably he's gone to Pine Spur or something to...
Right, I recall. Yes, okay,
right.
So he's taken off. His building is mostly finished over here on the side. And now that Theron is gone, work has sort of stopped, and so it's a mostly finished building. Like, the roof is built, but not no thatch has been put on, and doors and windows are missing. They're just like cutouts. And there's no decorations or decor or furniture. Sort of a ghost town.
Yeah, that seems perfectly fine. Totally fits in. So in the as dawn shines its light on Winter's Reach, Malcifer steps out of the Fletcher. So I don't know which side of town that was on. But presumably, there's a blacksmith over here. So I'm guessing the Fletcher is probably just up the road, maybe next door or something. Yep. I step out into the path, hopefully just in time to be catching a bunch of the hunters and woodsmen as they're gathering up to head out for the day, right?
They've got their morning pint of ale over at the tavern before they head out.
They maybe stop by the blacksmiths or the Fletchers on their way out if they need any arrowheads or... whatever.
Yeah. Everyone's chummy. It's a small town, so they're coming by and they're like, "Hey, Jeremy, how's it go?" And then they see Lord Winter standing nearby.
Yeah, I can gather them. They'll say, "Hunters."
Yes.
I clear my throat and wave over if I see another group somewhere else, and I'll address however many I can assemble in short order on their way out before they go ranging for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they already know what I'm about to tell them better than I do. As Winter's Reach has extended into the woods, many of the forest life has perished. You are to scavenge any usable resources from this hinterland, but you must take your own hunting and ranging farther afield, deeper into the Blumwood. Is this clear?
They nod. One of them speaks up and says, "The Guardians have." You cut him off.
I think I'm talking right over him, interrupting him to say, if you encounter any of the servants of Winter wandering, too far out of the dead zone, and you are marked, you may shove them back towards their woods, and then. What were you saying of these guardians?
The guardians have killed much of the game in the woods. I was going to say, my lord, much of that. It's been difficult to find food, to find things to hunt.
You must hunt farther. You must hunt better.
You can see smiles grazing all of their faces. This is the news they've always wanted. Free reign to hunt wherever you want. You don't have to be confined to, the Winter's Reach territory. There's no more poaching. Everything is free game. Oh, my God. They are ready for this.
Let's see how much I can justify. I think I'm going to head back to the estate and see if I can pull up the most, up-to-date territory map I can.
Sure.
Have I been up all night? I think I have been up all night.
Yes, another all-nighter from Malcifer.
A pot of coffee as I go to pour over my my maps and ledgers and things in the on the estate. So we can
start planting some coffee trees on the estate. Get yourself better orchards.
Yeah, I don't know what the weather's like here, so I didn't want to commit to any one
Wise.
crop.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when seasons are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, map. So what's the best I could find in my records, in my libraries?
There's an old map here. It's prominently displayed because it is the map that marks the boundaries of your territory. It's an important document.
Yeah, is this from before or after the rebellion? Before the rebellion.
Wait, no, this must be from after, because before you guys lived somewhere else, and when the rebellion happened, you guys like moved out of your land, right? Or is this the same estate that you've?
No, this is a, what would you call it? This is like an estate in exile, right?
Right. So this map must be drawn up just around the time that Gadia was conquered.
Mm-hmm. Are there perhaps
subjugated? That's a better word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I guess I want to piece. I mean, what are the other territories marked on the map? And I guess I want to try and sort out which of those are alive, and which of those have been replaced and deposed. And let's see. Yeah, so we get a mad montage of Malcifer poring over these old maps while he blows coffee. Here in the real world, it's afternoon, so we're switching to tea. But
let's get a more appropriate.
Can I quaff a potion of coffee to get advantage on my next research check?
Sure, but it also gives you disadvantage on holding your bowels.
Yeah, I was gonna grab skill Constitution for holding your bowels.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at this map here. Your map, despite being in exile, your ancestors didn't take too large of a parcel of land. They sort of knew that you gotta
So I think what we are left with is like some coastal estate that, for whatever reason, that deal. That for whatever reason, the noble House of Winter.
Perfect. Yeah, so this is your estate.
So this is where we fled when.
This is maybe a little bit big, but yeah.
What was this, 300 years ago? After the well, we wouldn't call it a rebellion. We would consider it an invasion, unlawful
occupation.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think this is the appropriate. This should be like 3.5 miles from your estate.
Mm-hmm. And and pre-invasion, would there have been like a council of nobles in Pine Spur? Was there a king? There was a
king in Pine Spur, and then there were counts and barons and stuff.
Do I have family trees? I assume this is something that would be of interest.
You do have family trees, yes.
Would I have sorted out how many steps removed I would be from the throne, or who all else was left in that family tree? This seems like very much something that would have been done, or if it hasn't been done, that's what this mad montage is about.
You are the last of your line. There were some cousins and stuff that have since been lost. A few, like 3 generations back, you don't really know where they went. Like they were elsewhere in Gadia, and contact got lost, and now that family line is just blank.
Have a name? Was there one for the last king of Gadia, or is that not something recorded in the?
I do have that information. I just have to go look at my historical records. Guys, the problem with planning so much shit for D&D campaigns is that then you have notes on everything, and it takes you forever to get everything accurate.
Hey, at least you've gone digital. Can you imagine if this was like in a binder somewhere? If you had like a shelf next to you with a binder that was like labeled with the kingdom you were in, you'd have to pull it off and.
Dude, that's the dream.
It's just laminated pages.
The dream is to have an actual like hardbound book that I can just flip through with all this information, but then it would need to be like set in stone and not being added to. Couldn't have a living document.
Build yourself a wiki, says chat.
Let's see. Pine Spur and Arcadia basic info might have this information. Legal structure. Conquest of Gadia. 1380. Okay. Grayson is the family line of what former kings, now barons.
So there was
here.
a King Grayson.
There was a King Grayson. Yes.
Okay.
Your family was fairly far removed, so you weren't ever really close to. Your family was never close to being the leader.
Are there any living Graysons, or were they?
There is one.
Yeah, there is one.
He is the current Baron. He's 90 years old.
Oh, so House Grayson bent the knee.
House Grayson bent the knee, folded, and got dropped from kings to barons, and their line just like crashed and burned over the last few hundred years.
If the old king, who was the Grayson that surrendered?
It was. I don't have a name. I don't know, Ryan. Give me a name.
It was House Grayson. It doesn't. I mean, it could not be a thing that I know.
You probably would know. I think though. I just don't. I'm just so bad at naming. My brain is shot. King. I want to say Darren, but it's a shitty name. No offense to any Darrens in chat.
It doesn't matter. You can put off naming this guy.
We're just gonna call him King Darren Grayson. I can't think of anything else.
All right.
Darrent with the T.
Right.
That's it.
All right, Darrent. But if he were to have, I mean, he basically abdicated the throne. Can I sort out who would have? I know I don't have a heraldry. Maybe I need to call in Lord Rosegrove at some point in this to help me sort through the records, because I think he was actually he's
much older than you, isn't he?
Yeah.
I remember when your father went through a similar process in his later years. He was very keen on family lineage.
So when Darrent Grayson abdicated the throne and surrendered to Eridon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Eridon?
Eridon, yes.
Who would have been next? I mean, who would have been next in line to succession at that time, I think is the question. That,
like, what was the next family after the Graysons to be in charge?
Well, they gave up, but if you look at the old family, if I can look at an old family tree from that era, can I trade, like, okay, Darrent Grayson gave up his throne, cross him off the list, who's his eldest son, or whatever the line of succession would be, or his, or if he had a brother or something, can I trace?
So his son would have been this guy that's in charge right now, actually, because it was only 130 years ago or so that Gadia was conquered. The current guy's 90, so this would be maybe the grandson of the king at the time. The king at the time would have been in his 40s, so he would have had a son.
Yeah. But this whole family, they surrendered to.
They surrendered, and there is no everyone surrendered and bent the knee. As far as you know, the Winter family is the only one who still remains loyal.
The only one. So maybe that's the conclusion I have to come to, right? Like poring over these maps. Everyone surrendered.
Everyone has surrendered.
We are all that remains of the once great kingdom of Gadia.
Right. If there is another group out there somewhere, they're just as in hiding as you are.
We've got this House Lorwyn marked on the map. Oh, I think we just noted that they were once a probably more prestigious noble family that surrendered. But for some reason we had seen, okay, and Corval is the one with that knight that I first killed.
So here are the nearby houses, estates near yours. You're this bottom one, and there are 3 that border yours. 1 on each of your coasts, and 1 in the middle of the Blumwood. Let me pull up some
Do
documentation.
I know yet that Eridon has fallen, or are we just so off the grid that such news is of no concern to us?
Exactly.
I'm still under the impression that Eridon is this distant and powerful kingdom that's subjugating us.
Yep. This is the
Little would I know. Orsani?
Orsani are over here on this one. Is that how it's spelled? Yep.
You don't need to bother naming these houses. They're all ash.
Okay. Excellent. I won't name them.
Right? No. All right. So we've sent out the hunters. We've gone through this. I think at some point in this insane, manic, whatever, Malcifer will pass out. And I actually do. I mean, I would like to recover HP and recast my spirit armor was the ideal.
Right.
Do you remember us having this discussion? But you were like,
I do.
you aren't going to have enough time to fully heal that.
Yeah.
And so I think this is probably when I would settle in to like rest and, let all my skeletons finish healing myself, and then probably start retaking all the Blumwood. But it sounds like I'm going to be interrupted before then. We've got Lilith probably set to finishing the zombies. Maybe I help her, but maybe not. Maybe that's not necessary. Got the hunters out. We've got some spiritual weapons for those ever come through. That surely only takes like an afternoon, right?
You get your Fletchers, carve the bones, attach them to shafts, and you get a whole little clutch of them. They can just be sort of havoc making some in the spare time. So
yeah, I don't think they take a year of my life force to fire, so that's probably not that
right.
common. But
you can write down as many as you want and replenish them whenever you're in town.
I think we'll just say that
semi-infinite because
that's
you're not going to be using
I'll
them.
use for all of my bolts, right? There's no combat penalty, right? And if I treat them as disposables.
Yeah, I think against like metal armor, they might have a -1 to hit. Similar to.
So they've got a wooden shaft
iron.
and then just like a bone spine on the tip.
Yeah,
Feathers
similar
for fletching.
to bronze weapons versus steel armar. These will have penalties against bronze armor.
But if they're turned into a spiritual bolt, that's going to do. It's still going to do.
It's still going to do the extra
6
damage.
+ 1. Maybe if it's just D6. Drop the +1 for a.
I was going to do
bone arrow,
penalty to hit, not penalty to damage.
Fair enough. But what if it's okay? Okay, we'll think about it. So when am I interrupted?
Not for days, actually.
Okay, so I can get to healing. How does that work? I guess I would need to dispel my spirit armor and heal up for 4 HP and then recast it and drop that same to upgrade it. Maybe I can't even really heal this, can I? I think the best course of action is to just burn the spirit armor in combat and recast it. Unless I think I've got how long would that all take? Is that like a week?
To regain your lost HP?
Do I regain HP at 1 a day?
1 a day, yeah. We're not quite converting to the new healing system. Not yet. 1 day.
Oh yeah, I really do like that from Koibu Knights. Yeah. If you aren't already watching that, it's the hottest new show over here in the Nealiverse.
Koibu Knights is pretty bomb. You guys haven't checked it out. We've got some cool healing things and some cool new magic systems, a whole new clerical system. We've got wizards with MP that are quite heavily revised. We've got a pugilist as the main tank and main fighter. We've got some cool shit going on.
Plenty of basilisk wrestling. Am I right?
responsible party members who are mature enough to handle the the adult content we run on that show.
Is Neal mature enough? That is the true question.
Absolutely
Okay, so
not.
I think can I dismiss my spirit armor at will? Is that a thing? Or do I need to like do another sacrifice to undo my first sacrifice?
I don't know. So, convince me. Do you think you should be able to dismiss it? That makes more sense than having to like take a knife to yourself and stab yourself 5 times, right?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah, because I don't like the mechanic.
This necromancer class involves a lot of self-harm. That's one thing I don't know if I like about it.
Well, I think that's
you just
quite...
gotta, you just gotta have the
Okay, yeah. So I think you can just
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I think you can just dispel it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like dismiss your spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this new necromancer class is quite I don't know, edgy. Right.
Well, what do you
not be
expect a
suitable for some
necromancer?
audiences for sure.
Yeah, what do you expect of a necromancer? Of course, it's a little edgy. Although edgy has been really taken, the colloquial use of it has changed in the last like 5 years. I don't know if I agree with the changes made to that term.
Sure. That's something an edgelord would say.
Oh god, it's the worst. Okay, all right, it's fine.
All right. Where were we? Before our tangents, our recommendations and disclaimers.
Mm-hmm.
Creaky boat sounds, courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. Are we done? All right. We're done plugging.
We're done plugging.
All right. All right. Dismissing the spirit armor.
Right. You can dismiss it. That's fine.
It is dismissed, and I will regain those HP over the course of 4 days.
Yes.
And then if I get to that, I think I would re-sacrifice it. So did 4 days pass?
4 days pass.
Okay.
Yes. We'll skip to 6 days passing. That's the next event.
All right. So let me. So I guess I heal for 4 days, and then I recast spirit armor. Let me just remind myself what that casting entails.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. I think it was some good old-fashioned ritual sacrifice, right?
I think so.
Of your own life force. Let's see. Spirit armor. Just an HP cost. See spells. Oh, that's under. Let's see. I really like the Conjurer with MP system that you've got going on.
I have another MP system I want to talk to you later about.
I said I was done plugging.
Hold on, but all right, as long as we're on this, I've got this other idea for an MP system where your MP is a result of your studying and notes, and so your like the more time you put into your notes, and the more pages you put in your spell book, the more MP you gain. And the only way to gain MP is by doing research, and so you've got like your spell book collection that slowly increases over time.
That sounds like a really good way to mechanize the wizards ignoring the party dynamic or slowing down the. Slow down, guys! I need to study.
Right, so the wizard could go and like
study.
He could go study and like get like 60 MP in one, in like a week of studying, and then burn through it over a course of time. But then if your notes disappear, you need to, I can't figure out, but there should be some sort of mechanic about losing your notes and having to recreate them to get back up to where you were before you can gain more MP. I don't know. I like the idea of the player's notebook and journal being the MP that they gain, and then if you like get another wizard's notebook, all of a sudden you gain access to all this extra MP because someone else, like, you've got fresh new notes to work with.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to work it.
Spellbook having a certain MP pool.
Something like that.
You gotta go around collecting them like magical artifacts.
Or you can, like, write them yourself, which is a slower method of gaining MP. There's something here. I haven't figured out exactly how to do it.
Could do, in the lore, instead of making it spellbooks, you could make it something else to collect, like perhaps orbs. And you like use the orbs as a source of MP, and I'm gonna stop myself because I might be trolling here.
Yeah,
but I like it. I like it. Okay, so in the course of these days, I will have recast a level 4 spirit armor upon myself, eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Am I under the care of Lilith? Does she offer healing services, or is that not a...
She will offer them if you look like you're wounded or let her know that you need them, but I don't think she recognizes your injuries.
afflictions?
Yeah, they're spiritual in nature, so she doesn't. They're not apparent on your flesh.
Okay. Well, I get some R&R. I command Tomas to make me an Epsom salt bath. And, bring me some chicken meat or whatever. Mm-hmm. Probably plenty of venison too. I can make monster zombies, can't I? Right? Could I be raising back some of these sacrificed pigs as monster zombie pigs? And send them rampaging into battle?
What better way to get rid of corpses than zombie pigs? They're already going to eat the flesh.
I'm going to need to feed some life force, though, if I'm going to make an army of zombie pigs.
Mm-hmm. And that is the problem with the necromancer class, is that your power is capped by the number of people you can kill.
Yeah.
And if you kill everyone, then you have no more source of power. It's sort of like a virus or an infection.
Yeah.
Which I really, really like for necromancers, sort of like a blight on the land.
Yeah. So I think this is what we've got set up, right? There's a several mile perimeter of just deadwood where zombies roam. Mm-hmm. Not everyone is marked quite yet. Let's look at our spreadsheet.
Ooh, that's right. Not everyone is marked.
Right. So it's an odd time to be alive in Winter's Reach.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Got only 53 are. Oh no! All of these farmers are unmarked. Crap. 120 are unmarked. Only 59 are marked. Yeah, so a good portion of the population is not marked and lives in fear of the zombies. Oh, you poor serfs. I hope I don't have too many casualties. And if I do have casualties, I hope the bodies are brought to me promptly.
Well, that's for the interruption in 6 days.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, we'll get there when we get there, but is there anything else you wanted to do in those 6 days?
Let's see. I mean, we get all of our zombies up and running. We've got a nice patrol going. Mm-hmm. I've got my contingent of skeletons posted up in the orchard. I practice jumping them in and out of roses, right? I'm like figuring out is there an optimal command to get them to stealth into the rose and upgrade the rose into a murder rose?
You'll figure out a way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got those guys, and the hunters are, ranging far afield. Have I gotten any reports back from there? I think I assume that no news is good news, and they're just doing their thing.
Correct.
And I will probably hear if they start getting murdered.
Mm-hmm. But on day 6 of your resting, there is an emergency that arises. A hunter comes running from the woods, carrying a bag. You can see him from your parlor window, I think, is where you're hanging out when he arrives. Lilith is with you. Lord Rosegrove is off tending to the roses, and the hunter comes up and starts pounding on the front door of your estate, saying, Master Winters! Winters! Winter!
Yeah, I let him in. Right. What is it, man? Do I recognize this guy?
Yeah, he's one of the hunters in town. You've seen him about many a time.
Not Hannibal?
No, this is a different hunter.
One of Hannibal's buddies.
He has a sack, and he just upends it and dumps it on the atrium of your house, and out plop 4 heads, 4 rotted heads.
I turn them over, and
you recognize them.
Are these?
These are heads of people you have turned into zombies.
Okay, so these are dead. 4 dead. Where did you find these?
In the woods. They were severed from the bodies, which had been hacked to bits by weapons. Some of them had been burned. And he points at the heads, and you can see areas where they've been caved in and destroyed and wrecked.
Noble servants of winter. May you
Lord,
find rest. Get these off my porch. And I march past him to assemble my skeletons. I guess I'll myself get armored up, grab a horse, and I think we're gonna go on the warpath here. So, yeah, I'm good to go. I'm all healed up.
Excellent.
Armed to the teeth, the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and I can even use some of those. I've got those spare crossbows that the warrior skeletons can use, but they are melee specialists, right?
Right. They can use the crossbows, but they're specialists in melee, which give them better melee attacks.
Mm-hmm. Actually, the regular skeletons can use a bow, can't they?
Yes.
Yeah. They can even shoot twice.
With a regular bow.
Do we have spare hunting bows in the village? If not, I will swoop by and suggest that the huntsman, or that the Fletcher I was working with the other day, make me some bows for my skeleton army that I'm marching through the village.
They will set to work making you bows. I think bows take like a week or so to make, because you have to hold them and bend them in shape or whatever, and they need to be cured and whatnot. So there might be a few on hand. There's probably a couple extra bows lying around somewhere that someone will happily give up to their dear Lord Winter.
Yeah. Oh, is that Hunter still around that delivered the first message that brought me the heads?
He is retreating down the path.
Yeah.
You can call him back.
Yeah. Probably jogging to stay ahead of me and away from the skeletons.
There's a dog on a roof.
There's a what on the roof?
A dog on a roof.
Uh-oh.
How'd you get up there, doggy? I mean, it's not our problem for today, but there's a dog on the roof.
Well, keep us updated. We appreciate it. Wait, and I will ride this guy down from my horseback. Do you know who slew the zombies?
He shakes his head. I just found them. I don't know how many more there are or who did it.
You found 4 yourself, of all in one spot?
They were clumped into a pile, as if they had been gathered.
I'm like trotting my horse next to him into town. He's probably stopped jogging or whatever, fleeing from the skeletons. All right. Well, okay, then we did that. Yeah, so that was, yeah. And then we stopped by the Fletcher. That wasn't already done. And me and the Skellies are going to head into the woods, into the Blumwood.
All right. You enter into the Blumwood.
And if you have any idea which part of the wood the hunter was from, we'll go there. Otherwise, I think we're just going to do a standard patrol.
Okay. He tells you it was straight out from town. So out
yeah, I think
somewhere.
We've described the Blumwood as having no actual roads, but there being many intertwined paths through it.
Lots of little trails everywhere.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
You head out on your path.
Malcifer on horseback, flanked by...
How many warriors did you bring?
I brought the whole contingent.
Oh my god.
So this would be 7 skeletons and 2 warriors. So that's my spear. And do I see zombies? If I pass zombies in the woods, I may gather them.
Yeah, you will pass. Oh wow, you rolled really well. You will pass 3 zombies on your way out. They're patrolling together in a group. Somehow I think they're all like initially independent patrols, but they get.
And as I see them, I'm like,
they mix up, and sometimes a few cluster together.
Follow us, and we just develop a trail of zombies.
Yes. So you have 3 zombies and a bunch of skeletons in tow. When you come across a stack of bodies on the trail itself.
Are they zombies?
They're zombies. They're headless zombie bodies. Looks like the bodies of the heads that you have received. And they're piled on, like, not just around, but like in the center of the path, very properly stacked. As if someone wanted you to see this.
Yeah. No, this must be Theron. Or at least he's told them how to hunt undead. This displeases me. And I think Malcifer takes the bait, right? If this was left here to like lure me deeper or something, I take my undead parade past this display. I assume the heads are nowhere in sight, right? They've taken those and pulverized them elsewhere or something.
Perhaps they're the heads that you have that were dumped on your door.
I could turn those into skeletons, couldn't I?
If you removed the flesh, you need a whole body for a skeleton. Yeah. I don't think you can do headless skeletons.
If you've desecrated a corpse, it can no longer be used to...
Yeah, you need the full corpse to do it. If you're missing parts, it doesn't work.
We'll see if we can put an asterisk on that at some point, but today is not the day for experiments.
Another time.
All right. We march.
Into the woods?
How far do we get before we encounter...
I need you to give me a perception check,
Yeah.
Mr. Winter.
I am taking the horse at a light trot. I think what works best is for the skeletons to flank me at a distance so as to not irritate the horse. But it's a war horse. It can keep its cool. I just don't want to stress out the poor guy.
It is nervous around the undead. Very nervous.
Yeah.
Perception check.
Sorry. Yeah. I got too many windows. Use that character sheet, but I can use that character sheet. 23.
Okay.
Gotta pass.
Thanks.
Well, maybe. Depends how good at hiding they are.
You proceed through the wood along this trail until the trail enters into the territory of the next estate over, some 5 or 6 miles down the road. This estate has orchards and a few fields and some pens where they herd some animals. But you can see in the small village nearby, there are large campfires set up, and there are some tents just outside the village square that look temporary and new.
Yeah. I assume it's like middle of the day as I'm doing this, right? Ordinary. Business hours.
Business hours.
I spot this through the woods, it sounds like. Is this like the next estate over? Is this like the next village over?
Next village over, yeah.
Next village over. Tent set up. Surely Theron is amongst those warriors. I hope for his sake that he's not. Although some good rolls, some good turn on dead rolls could sour this whole party pretty quick. Hold, I say, as I size up the situation. Hold! I think I have to shout to the farthest reaches of my undead. I look out at this village from as far of a distance as I could have spotted it, right? Although vision in the Blumwood is not great. I can't use any combat abilities through a shade, can I? No, draining life through the undead.
No.
Well,
So as you're sitting here in the woods, surveying the town.
Yeah,
And-
I'm surveying it like it's a battlefield, right? I think that those are soldiers quartered in this village, and they ought to be assembling somewhere. Where are they assembling, Neal?
Shit. Well, as you are doing this, an arrow comes from behind you with a natural 18, which +2 for back attack, +1 for surprise, brings us to 21. There's
21, you say? So
yeah. There might be another
my
+1 from like level or dex, so let's call it 22.
You can't just level up your characters mid-combat.
I hadn't.
I'm teasing. Yeah. You're already critting. What do you need that extra +1 for?
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to be accurate, man. It's not about breaking.
And I assume this is against me.
This is against you, yes.
From
Yes.
the back.
From the back.
There's movement 6 zombies that can't keep up with us, right?
Yes, I am
Okay.
aware of this factor.
So
So is that's a single crit? Double crit?
Yeah, my AC is 15.
15? Okay, so it clears by 10. So
So
that
if it's
+1
naturally-
doesn't matter.
It doesn't clear by 10. It clears by
It
5.
clears by 5, yeah. The 21, 22 don't make a difference.
Mhm, yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
The arrow will strike you for 7 damage, which you reduce
Jesus.
by 4 for your level from your spirit
so-
armor.
Yeah, still 3 damage is gonna take a while to recover. Okay, so I was at okay. I need to update this character's HP. Let's see, where is that? In any case, I whirl around. Turn around, turn!
As you
And
turn,
I-
you see a figure in a tree notching a second arrow and drawing it towards you, or
Ooh,
towards
I
himself.
roll for initiative. Get him! I shout to my skeletons, and we roll for initiative.
Yes, the tree-bound scout will fire again. Let me get a token so we can roll initiative.
And maybe some more exciting music. Where is my HP on this character sheet? Is it under combat?
Combat?
It is under
Yep.
combat. It says 12 here. What is... The token has a different HP meter or something.
Because the token isn't
It
pulling
is.
from your sheet.
Okay. Cool.
There we go.
Oh.
Now, why does it 12.16 for your max HP?
16 would be my HP if I weren't, if I didn't make spirit armor.
Got it. Okay. All right, so let's roll initiative for our ranger. Oh god, terrible roll.
I can do worse. Nope, I do fine. Oh, I should have clicked initiative on my token. Yeah.
It's fine.
And then I do have skeletons.
I do believe if you click your token and click the initiative button for your weapon, it'll automatically...
Yeah, I haven't inputted the weapons yet.
Okay, cool.
I just roll 1 for all the skeletons.
Sure, but I don't think the skeletons can reach him. He's in a tree. They're...
2 of my skeletons have crossbows.
Oh, then please roll for the skellies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you moved my skelly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I tried to move him down
Oh, you
to where it would be.
shrink my skelly.
Yeah.
Light crossbows an 8. Oh, skelly. Are my zombies in sight? Like in the woods off in the distance?
I
Or are
believe
they
so.
out
I think
there?
because you've approached the town and you've been sitting and waiting, and I think the zombies have been slowly catching up to you. They're in
I
sight
whirl
somewhere.
around, snarl at the sky. I'm gonna try out my spiritual weapon just for funsies, because this guy made me mad by ambushing me. So that takes a year of my life, correct?
Mm-hmm.
To draw this crossbow from my quiver, bone crossbow, like jam it into my thigh, like between plates of chainmail, sacrifice my life force, shoop, 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 make a necrotic bolt and shoot it at this ranger. I don't think I get any bonuses. He may have some kind of cover, but I feel like he's immobilized, which
He's immobilized in the tree. I don't think he gets any cover. Yeah.
yeah, so like I feel like there would be a bonus for being behind a branch, but like you can't dodge out of the way because you're sitting on a branch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just roll a flat d20.
Oh
a
my
natural
God.
1.
Your crossbow.
I think I don't even get it loaded. This is the first time I've tried to use a spiritual weapon. I think I stabbed myself and can't get it figured out.
It's terrifying.
I'm like struggling to get this like barbed bone bolt out of my chainmail. And I guess the ranger gets another shot. Are there other rangers?
You only see this one thus far.
Okay. I think my yeah. Go ahead.
It will take a shot with its bow. It gets a second attack at the end of the round because it's a hunting bow.
Oh yeah.
With just a 6 to hit you. So the arrow whistles over your ear, lands in the dirt somewhere nearby. Yeah. There's a soft curse coming from the ranger as he pulls another arrow from his hip. How far are we
from the village? From reinforcements?
Let's see, the forest is moderately thick, so you actually have to be kind of close to see the clearing. You're probably
so like hundreds of yards.
Like 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah. Right. We are skeletons are finally getting to the scene, correct? So I think the melee skeletons just kind of gather not uselessly around the tree, and but my warriors will take a shot at, I believe, +1. Maybe plus. It might be more than +1.
The warriors should roll at +2, I believe.
Yeah. Zombie
Skeletal
level 3,
warrior.
missile is +2. Oh wait, that's not.
+2 to hit.
Yeah. There's 1 miss and a crit. One of the skeletons strikes home, so that'll be do these do light crossbow bolts do D6 +1 as per usual, or have you changed that?
They stay the same, yes. So it should be 2d6 +2 for your... Oh, no. This is not your spiritual weapon. This is just regular crossbow bolts.
I mean, it has not been turned into a spiritual weapon now, unless I could have handed it. I didn't have time to do that. Yeah. 8 points of damage.
Ooh, I think that might drop our ranger, which is more of a job than a class in this situation. Yeah. So the person with the bow drops from the tree, falls to the earth below with a heavy thud.
Pick that bow up, I say to the nearest skeleton, and the quiver.
They do so.
And I'm whirling around. Malcifer's whirling around, expecting more of an ambush, but I guess it was just the one.
It was just the one.
I inspect my wound to make sure I'm not poisoned.
No, it looks like a regular arrow.
Yeah.
It's tucked right in between your chain links, just below your right breast.
And I wait for the zombie. I think we'll wait and let the zombies catch up.
They do so.
And I think, let's see. This guy, he took 8 damage. Is he still alive? Back. I call my skeletons back as I jump from my horse.
I don't know. I think once he fell from the tree, the zombies and skeletons that were surrounding it probably just went to town on him before he could say anything. So he's definitely dead by now. When he hit the ground, he was still alive.
I can turn him into a zombie here on the spot, though, right? I can just...
If you can get access to his brain.
Yeah, I got a hunting knife on my belt. I cut into his brain. Little drop of my blood from this fresh wound here, and sack a year, right?
And he rises to his feet. Chunks of flesh bitten out of him by the skeletons all over the place.
And joins the undead horde. And I walk beside my horse, using it for cover. And I flank this village with my undead compadres. So we'll pull a little further away from the village and sort of circle around it.
Okay, there are all sorts of trails that run through here. As you're walking, you
high
hear...
alert for other scouts, right? And
give me a perception check, because someone is going to spot you and scream. Maybe we don't even need a perception check.
Yeah.
You might see them first, but I doubt it. They rolled really well on their perception. You got to beat like a 29. Actually, there's more than 10 people in your party, right? For
31. Yeah, we get spotted, but I think we spot them as they spot us, or they scream, and I immediately see where they're where they're from. This wasn't a scout in a tree. This was like a villager out in there.
How many members of your party are there? There's 10, right?
Hordes. A pack.
A pack.
Let's see. I've got
round 10, to the round.
10, there's 11 plus a zombie parade. I guess there's only 3 zombies trailing up the rear.
So 14, including yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be... She gets a +2 to her spotting then, which brings her 29 to a 31. So you guys spot each other at the same time.
So we spot, yeah. Where was she, though? What was she?
She's gathering some plants, some herbs from the, along the trail. And as you guys come around a heavily bushed section, you look over to see her. She looks up to see you and sees these skeletons behind you and gives a shriek, drops her bag, and begins to run towards town, yelling, "Ah!" the whole way.
I think my skeleton bowman let loose, right?
Excellent.
Without
Take
thinking
shots.
twice. I guess there'll be a back attack, huh?
Yeah. 13 is a hit. 12 is a hit.
12.
Oh, God. The poor D8 HP woman.
She has cover because she falls prone. Oh, but it's a crit with the standard skeleton with the hunting bow. I don't think her corpse is not salvageable. I mean, we'll raise her as a zombie, but so I guess the same pattern. Malcifer walks over to the woman. Skeletons advance, and I'd like to know how many soldiers could be in those tents.
Well, you're about to find out because the sounds of her screams have reached the town.
Yeah, the skeletons are unleashed,
and the bells begin to ring. And
we have a map of this town, or are we just?
There's no map of the town. I have no idea we were coming here. We've got nothing for us. We're gonna have to theater mind the whole thing.
Yeah,
it's gonna be beautiful.
All right. So maybe we're doing initiative.
Yeah. God, I don't know how we're gonna do this. This is a big. I mean, it's a whole village, right, that you're invading, and so I think we're gonna need a rough map without too many details. So let's come over here just to get a big picture of what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. The town is roughly gonna be this circle. You guys were initially approaching along the brown road I'm about to draw. That came this way. But you've since gone to circle around the town, and there's all sorts of trails that crisscross everything. So I'm imagining you guys were heading that way when you were spotted. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we continued to flank, find this woman.
Right.
So we're somewhere up here?
Yeah, somewhere up there.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Okay. Cool. So let's roll. I think it's probably in this situation. It's probably better just to do you and all of your troops, and them and all of their troops. Otherwise, it's too many rolls.
I was separating it into skeleton. Well, zombies go at the end of the round. So I've got I got my skeleton troops. I've got myself.
Okay. Then I will grab some guards. Excellent. Let's just get an initiative roll for Malcifer and Friends. The new show coming to Nickelodeon this week. Malcifer and Friends. You don't have any friends. You can make them yourself. All you need is a knife and a head.
How long will that spiritual bolt that I made last?
1 round per life force sacrificed.
Oh, okay. So it was okay.
Yeah, if it didn't get used, it fizzles.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Skeletons. Should I roll them at the slowest weapon speed?
Just do a flat 10. I think with mass combat of this scale, it's just going to be a little easier if we just have everyone roll base. So then I'll actually drop this back down to a 6 again, and Malcifer should be a 8.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So I think Malcifer is approaching the fallen woman, pulling his horse. Skeletons are ready. I guess guards come first. So how many guards charge out of the tents or are rushing out of the tents?
Rather than rush or charge, you just see them assembling out front. You see... Oops. 3, 4, 5, 6. You see 6 spear of soldiers emerging from the town, from the tents, gathering up in the front, and following behind them and their knights is a red-robed spellcaster.
Ooh, this isn't good. Not good at all.
Yes.
A wizard.
Yes, and the wizard seems to be on top of his shit because he's not just like sitting on a horse out in the open. He's standing like walking back and forth behind the spears. So you can sort of see him, but he's got like covers of other humans in front of him to block missile fire. And that is the guards' turn. They gather into formation.
The skeletons, how far out are these guards gathering?
We said 2 to 3 rounds, so let's call it 240 yards. Let's say 300 yards for rounding's sake.
And there's nothing living between me and them.
Trees. Lots of trees.
Yeah, but bushes. No more unfortunate villagers.
No. Now this is a lot of enemies.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up the range of these bows. I mean, I think skeletons are taking shots, but it's probably like super long range.
Yes, that should be max range for short bows, I believe.
2 have light crossbows and 1 has a short bow.
Let me take a look. Crossbow, light, 60, 120, 180 yards. So out of range.
Out of range,
Out of range of all missile fire. Yeah.
All right, so my skeletons assemble. The ranged weapons are like not drawn, ready to anything that comes within range. Malcifer approaches the fallen villager and turns her into a zombie. So I like kneel next to her corpse and like stab into the back of her skull with the hunting knife.
Yeah, chip away some of the skull to get it all bloody.
Maybe it takes a couple stabs to get it in there good. And poke my finger into my arrow wound and splash my own blood into the brain. Raise back poor Susie as a zombie. I don't know how long that takes, like a minute, right?
That's about a minute.
I'm a level 4 necromancer. It's a shoddy job. She's not she's not built to last, but she's about to get speared down by her own. I guess so I raise this frothing zombie and
all right,
go for the one in red. I like push her forward and
the zombie. Are you sending all your zombies in?
Red. At least this one, and the rest I think are catching up at the end of the round. And I will. They're not smart enough to go for a particular person, right? I can't point them to the.
If you no, I
think wizard, can I?
I think your zombies cannot. Let's see. Hold on. Tactics will attack the most available enemy. Yeah. So your zombies, they just if it's an enemy, they attack it. They're not that controllable. Your simple AI creatures can focus specific targets based on descriptions. So your skeleton warriors can focus the red guy. Everyone else kind of has to just melee or missile, whatever. I think I do actually have a battle map for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I have. This is perfect. I just need to find the.
So what is each of these spears armed with? Are they swordsmen, spearmen? Is it?
It looks like each spear has six shields and spearmen, and 2 bowmen and 1 knight.
Ooh, so each spear is 9 people?
Yes.
Were they all armed and ready? Like they were waiting in their tents and just leaping into action? Or were they surprised in their whatever?
They showed up very quickly with weapons ready to go. So it looks like they must have been waiting for this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. I'm gonna bring you to a different map. This is actually gonna be like a map of the town proper. And you would be, I guess, on the very edge of this.
Whoa, this is enormous. Probably out in one of, we can set up in one of these fields, right?
Yeah.
Or they would set up in one of these fields up in...
I think that's how it goes. So I'm just going to put full spears. Whoops, on the token layer. Map is maybe a little bit too zoomed out. Each of these squares should be 47 feet? That doesn't... Yeah, because 4 squares is 125 feet. 3 squares is 125 feet, so each... Fuck, how much is 125 feet in yards?
About 40 yards.
Yeah, okay. Oof. I think we can put more than one unit per square. So I think the scale of this map is going to be a little bit wonky.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's just leave it as it is for now. Then, yeah.
All right. So where would I would be probably? Is this a
You guys would
watchtower?
be coming from over here.
That like
That's a mill, a windmill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you guys are coming from that direction, and I think the soldiers are standing up in the field. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
And each of these squares is how many feet?
40 feet.
So we're like off the map at like 200.
Yeah, you should be off the map to the
should
side.
they be behind a row of buildings from us? Is that
No. They're assembling in the field because they're looking for you. They haven't actually spotted you yet. So they're getting all their soldiers up where their commanders can see them and arranging appropriately.
I mean, the way to get us on this map would be for us to like approach from up here at the distance we've been talking.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Then we'll move them lower.
Right? Does having a row of houses in between not make sense from what you were imagining? Would we be meeting on the edge of the woods?
I think you're meeting on the edge of the woods, but we can make this work. We can just... we can contextualize this as forest.
We can count how many rounds until I appear on this edge, right?
Yeah. 300 yards is 900 feet. I feel like this map is not to scale. Right?
I think we are better with just like the pictograph thing.
Yeah. This is to scale. This is actually to scale. Yeah.
So where would they be defending? Wouldn't they be like? Is there a river, or is it just like a creek off of the?
No,
bottom?
ignore the creek. That's not part of the map. This is a map of Confluence, a different town. So it's not exactly the map that we're looking for, but it will give us at least something to work with on the scale of the town and village.
Theory crafting. Confluence was teleported into the Dicing with Death universe.
I mean, it's already there. It's in Eridon. It's an Eridonian town.
So where am I? Am I
you
on the
are,
other side?
Yeah, you're up there.
Okay.
And we said 300 yards, which is 900 feet, so you're a little bit off the map. You know, you're maybe twice the distance.
And you said there was a spellcaster.
Yes, let me get the caster.
Are there civilians in these buildings here?
No, we're gonna say that the purple line is the edge of the woods, or something. Because you're coming, like, there's no buildings between you guys, so we're gonna have to do a little theater of mind with the map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is trees over here. Then this distance is maybe a little bit bigger, but whatever. It's close enough. So you've ordered your zombies into the fray? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, but they're never going to make it there in time. They move in rate 6. I think the one that I just raised is gonna just go charging into the spears. Right,
By
this
herself.
is the villager. Yeah, well, I mean, she had the lead,
Right.
and the rest of the zombies are coming sluggishly up behind. I think I order them to advance. They can move 60 yards in a round, right? If they move, it's 180 feet. I mean, so like the zombos. And then skeletons advance with me as I remount and move a little further towards. I want to use the skeletons to bait out the arrow shots as I move myself within range to take a shot at the mage.
Okay. So we can engage at... This is 330 feet. I'm going to move them back just a little bit so we can get a more appropriate range, because I think this is actually bow range right here. Yeah. Actually, they should be a little closer. And then this will put them in range, I believe. Or at the appropriate scale. Yeah. Great. So once you cross to this set of squares, this is bow range right here. 300 feet is maximum. No, 450 is maximum range. So yeah. You guys have just entered long range for a bow. Perfect. The bowmen, I'm just gonna put them in one block and have them make one attack roll against your skeletons or against your zombie who came in first.
I forgot this freaking group spell, this group combat. I retreat immediately.
Okay. The bowmen will
make your shots.
Make a shot at the incoming zombie, and the arrows just like rain down around her. Maybe one or two like hitting her for negligible damage and just kind of peppering the area.
How fast can a horse move?
Movement rate 18, I believe. So you can go 180 yards, which is 540 feet. Is that right?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So you could close to them in a single
myself
round.
Of crossbow range. Like crossbow 60 is 180 feet. Get within 180 feet of this guy. So Malcifer is going to do a drive-by spiritual weapon shot with the crossbow. Skeletons
He
will
is
continue to
behind
advance,
rows
but
of
I'm
fighters, remember? Right? So he's not like in the open in an easily available spot. I think I called that out earlier. Specifically.
Okay.
Like he's using his soldiers for cover. From
Okay, it looks like he's got one row of cover. How are you dealing with covering this? So he's got like a +2 to his AC. Is that what you're trying to say, or are you saying he's not accessible as a target?
No, he'll have bonuses to his AC. Let me just look. I think it's +2 to AC for one row. One row is 25%, 2 rows is 50%, 3 rows is 75%, I think is the way I've been ruling it.
Okay. Well, we will take one shot. Skeletons advance, take their own shots. I think the skeleton warriors can be directed at the mage as well. So Malcifer can go a full 440. So I can do something like move to like, or not 440. You said 2.
540.
You said 180 yards, right?
540 feet, yeah.
540 feet. So it's something like, I don't even know. That's probably too sharp of a thing. But like, did you get to see the path, or did it just go to where I finally ended up? Okay, yeah. So I, drive within range, take the shot, and pull back. Skeletons, I think, only have enough movement to just advance and take longer range shots. So let's do Malcifer's spiritual weapon. It's just going to be a straight D20, I think, and he'll have cover.
Okay, give me a roll to hit.
An 8, not going to do it. We've got 2 skeletal warriors that I think are probably at maybe medium range. I don't know how far they can walk, shoot.
They are movement speed 12, so they can go 60 yards and shoot, or they can go 120 yards and just movement.
Yeah, and I think they have their bolts loaded already, so they can just advance. You said 60, so they basically advanced there, which puts them maybe medium range with the crossbow. It looks like it's something around like 200-ish, maybe 180 feet. 60 yards, that's medium range. That's a -2, I think. So I'll just roll a flat D20 for them as well.
Also,
and there's only one, and I guess they all get 1. And realizing that the battlefield we're in, Malcifer calls the fall back as his horse is steering the other direction. And I
right.
think we're rolling initiative for the following round.
Yes, sir. No modifiers on the initiatives.
Oh, yikes.
And for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to put all of the archers in one spear. They should be broken up among the others, but that's too complicated to run. So
yeah,
just do it like this.
Not a wizard.
The
Speedy wizard. This
spellcaster goes first. Ooh. All right, the wizard will point a finger at you and cast a... Ooh, what range are you actually? Hold on, are you within magic missile? 250 feet? I think that's magic missile range. 60 yards plus 10 yards per level. Yes, you're within range. So he'll just point a finger at you and fire off magic missiles.
60 yards is 180 feet.
Right, so it's 60 yards plus 10 yards per level. And
yeah, so
this is...
You're telling me he's a level 7 wizard.
No?
Definitely retreat.
What? No, he's
not.
No.
I don't know. I know we're not
250
totally
feet.
Oh, yards per level.
Yards, yeah.
Yeah. So he's 2, 3, at least 2 wizard. It's not that bad. I guess we'll see how many missiles come streaking my direction.
4.
4? Oh God! Run for your lives.
Wait,
Death
4. It starts with 3, right? And then it's 1 every other level.
Starts with 1.
Oh, okay, starts with 1. There we go. I'm getting my 5th edition and 2nd edition all mixed up. It is 3 missiles come at you then, not 4. So he's at least 5th level.
He's changing their stats to mid combat. It's happening. All right. Is it 3?
1. Yes. So 1, 2, and 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage.
He blasts off my spirit armor. So
Right.
I think each charge will take 1 magic missile, right?
Okay, so each missile gets reduced by 4, but
Yeah.
3 charges get knocked off. So you
do any
take
of them do max damage, or does
one of them
right?
did 5. So you take
So I
1
take
point
one
of damage.
health, but my spirit armor is obliterated. What is can I see the wizard's face? Surely we've got some kind of line of sight. Like he's probably,
Yeah.
Right? If he can cast spells on me and I can arc arrows at him.
He is wearing silver robes with trim, like a golden trim on them, and a emblem.
They were just red a moment ago. What sorcery is this?
I'm sorry. He's wearing red robes with blue trim and an emblem of House Grayson over his breast. He looks like
A court wizard.
a court wizard
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah. Can I see his face? Can I see his reaction
do.
when his missiles just vaporize a shield of spirit?
His eyes are narrow. He looks determined and maybe a little bit frustrated that you're not dead yet from this initial barrage.
Yeah. What are the spears? Oh, is the one next to me I would not have ridden to that side if I knew those. Oh, I guess we don't care where the arches are. Is that what you're saying? There's some
Yeah, they're spread out. I'm just marked 1. I can, if it makes you feel better, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess if we're gonna separate them, they should probably be behind the others. It doesn't really.
It doesn't matter. We're trying to retreat this round unless you have plans to run us down. So
The guards will take a shot. 1d20 at your zombie coming in, which is another miss as the arrows pepper the area around the zombie. And Malcifer rolls around. The other guards stand fast.
Yeah, 250 feet is crossbow light. 250 feet is medium range, right? At 120 yards goes to 360 feet. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to close. So I'll take a shot from medium range at -2, I think. And then he's got the cover. One long shot on the spiritual weapon.
Go for it. Another year of your life.
11. He's probably got enough cover to deflect that. I don't think there's any way to...
Mage armor will also cover.
Oh, he's got mage
whatever.
armor.
Yeah.
but he gets to see the horror of this necrotic weapon
Yeah,
fizzling against his mage armor.
hits the ground at his feet.
Yeah, I'm whirl my warhorse around, kicking the spurs, and fall back! I shout as I bust a pull. What is it, 400 something feet on horseback? Skeletons. I guess they take some meddlesome shots as they fall back. I think they're at medium range. There's a crit. I might take down some and a critical miss. I love. Oh, and I only roll one.
Yeah, you should roll one.
My zombies trip as they try to retreat. But
The 20 is the archers firing?
20 was the archers, yeah. So that's,
Okay.
I roll a d6 plus 1 per damage. Oh no, 2d6 plus 2, because there's 2 archers.
So you should roll... For each crossbowman, you should roll 1d6 plus 1. For each archer, you should roll 1d6. So
that's a 20. Or do we don't do crits?
We were ignoring crits for mass combat.
He's just an auto hit, whatever.
Yeah.
2d6 plus 2 plus d6. It's 8 points of damage, so we take
You
one
kill a
casualty,
guard,
right?
yeah. It drops down.
And then they fall back. There may be an opportunity for like a long range round volley, or they can
They
charge.
hold their fire. The enemy holds their fire and holds their charge.
Hold back. There is a zombie that's still running at them.
Did she not hear your command to retreat?
You tell me. How far did she get when she was commanded to charge them, but I guess she didn't make it. So she runs into the field and then turns around and comes back.
Yeah, they'll get another volley at her at long range.
Do it.
12 at long range with back attack is going to be a hit.
Oh,
2 for
sure.
back, -5. Yeah, they will do. There's 10 of them, so 10d.
Oh god, there's not 10. There's 10 archers.
There's 10 archers. Yeah, 2 per spear, 5 spears, 10 archers. They'll bring her down with a flurry of arrows that just strike all over her back. She crumples and hits the ground. You've left them one token of your appearance before you disappear into the woods, and you're lost to them.
Yeah.
You can retreat. They do not pursue. They're clearly thinking this is a siege, and this is going to be the moment. The church bells are still ringing, but you break into the woods.
It is a siege. Just I don't think in the terms or the timescales they're imagining. I will raid their woods. So I will flee into the woods, but we're going in search of their outlying villages.
Well, this is the village.
This is the outlying village. This is the nearest village has posted up with this mage.
Yes. Well, it's not the mage. The mage is not from the village, very clearly. It looks like someone has sent a bunch of soldiers and a wizard here.
Should we blast back to the world map?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's. Yep, fine. There we go. Okay, so this map can we put the wizard where he would be on the map here to indicate that village. Wizard with 5 spear. Okay, so he's the next nearest one. How did my skull get moved out into the ocean?
Oh, because I was drawing things and I wanted to.
Okay.
I'll move your skull right back to where it was. There we go.
All right. Okay. So we will retreat from the village. So those are the next. Other than woodsmen, hunters, poachers, these are the next nearest signs of civilization. Are there villages in this region here?
Yep. Each region that I've marked off contains a village and an estate.
Interesting. All right. So then on our way back to Winter's Reach, we will retreat through. Actually, no. I think the answer is going to be to call the banners, right? I think we're marching back to Winter's Reach, and we're going to raise our own dead.
Do you have enough life left to do it? How many undead are you going to raise?
I think this is the time to excavate the graveyard and turn all of those skeletons into a skeleton army. we're probably going to have to sacrifice much of our livestock.
That's okay.
And,
you can run out of livestock, and you'll just get new
and
ones.
you can eat the meat from a ritual sacrifice, right?
Do you want to eat the darkly tainted meat? No one's done it yet.
No, I think we have, dude.
You have?
That's what Tomas has been butchering in the kitchen, isn't it? Or have you been, or has he been disposing of it? He's been churning it out into Rosegrove's fertilizer.
I don't know what you've been doing with that. I think there's probably a little... How do you say? There are a few basic instincts in humans. One of them is disgust, which helps keeping us from eating rotten things and keeping us from getting diseases. I think you feel a strong sense of disgust towards creatures that have been sacrificed for dark purposes.
Yeah,
and you don't know why, right? Like, maybe it's fine, maybe it's not, but there's an innate, like, uncleanness to it.
Right, yeah, like, you are what you eat, for sure. Right, have you ever had, like, you can, like, if pigs or bears get into, like, so I've heard stories, I've never had bear meat from a salmon-eating bear, but I've heard that if you do, it tastes kind of fishy and off, maybe.
Oh, really?
Not in a this is cursed flesh kind of way, but that sort of thing.
Okay.
Or like I heard someone was telling me about buying like meat, buying pork from like an amateur pork farmer or something, and whatever they had been feeding the pork, it didn't taste good. Probably, feeding it the wrong pig slop, and it wound up tasting like sheep pig slop.
Amateur pig feeder is code for serial killer who has been feeding their people to pigs.
All right. So I think that's the plan. I think that is it. What do we think? What do we think, chat? That seemed like a good plan. Dredge the graveyard and unleash the armies of the damned. How many graves are there in Winter's Reach?
So many. Your people have been here for 130 years. Your population is, what did we say, 250? Right? If we say the population has been stable and the average person lives for 80 years, then 250... No, it's been 120 years. 120 years divided by 80 is 1.5 generations times 250 people is 375 bodies in your graveyard, about. Now, some of those are going to be children, because there's some infant mortality here. So let's say, I don't know, 75% of these bodies are recoverable. So you've got a max of 280 skeletons to raise.
280? How hard is it going to be to get 280 chickens?
Not hard.
Not hard at all.
You should start investing in rabbits. They breed very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. So back to Winter's Reach we go. I think this mage is a problem that I just can't put off. Plus, who doesn't want a skeletal mage, right? It's very scary, but I think if I just raise 250 skeletons and send them against 5 spears and a mage, we'll eventually just tear them to bits. I don't know.
Eventually. Right?
And overrun this island with my army of the dead.
Well, is there any concern that you might not have time to raise 250 undead? Like, if you have a perfectly efficient system that's 1 undead a minute, so that's only a couple of hours, but you have to dig up all the bodies first. And that's going to be the big time-consuming thing. And then organizing the skeletons and putting them in the proper form on your table. It's going to be a laborious process.
Yeah. Yeah. What about those images of necromancers just like, and like the dead rise from their graves? It's not, this is not like it was in the movies, Neal?
No. Well, depends on the movie, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Malcifer retreats all the way to Winter's Reach. Rides into the village, defeated. At the very least, I'm going to need to heal.
How many days will that take you to heal?
I'm at 8. It's a long time. I'm going to go.
12?
Yeah, I'm going to go see Lilith.
Oh, you have to go to 16, don't you? You got.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
with Lilith, you'll double your healing, so it'll only take 4 days to get back to full.
Yeah. The zombies are back on patrol. The skellies are with me.
You do patrol zombies in the woods?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we need to... we're wrapping it up.
Yeah, I think this is where we should end, and when next week comes around, I will have constructed, hopefully, a bunch of battle maps that we can then do, mass combat between your undead armies and the civilians that are trying to raise their own defenses and stuff. Yeah.
I think someone in Winter's Reach is going to have to volunteer or be nominated to be a sacrifice. I guess it's probably most efficient to just sacrifice the young, right?
For your lifespan?
We'll debate this in the interim. If you have any thoughts, you can post in the Discord. Yeah, because I'm at 25 out of 38. Right?
Oh, you're getting low,
right? Or we raid the neighbors.
Yeah, children would make the best. Are you?
What about elven children?
That would be. I mean, if you could get your hands on an elf, that's like 100 years right there.
Oh, where did the elves live?
Too far.
How much does an elven slave cost?
Too expensive.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Tuesday, cool. Chat. If you want to come help me build battle maps to fight for this thing, we're going to be doing it Tuesday afternoon America time, which I know is a vague thing because that spans 4 time zones, but just leave it be.
It's fine.
It's fine.
He'll stream when he wakes up. Don't worry about it.
Right. So Tuesday afternoon somewhere.
Yeah. I don't think we level up. We're still
definitely not.
Deep. Yeah, we're still deep into these level 4 abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty to play test.
Mm-hmm.
In our little zombie sandbox here.
Yes.
Way more evil than breeding kobolds.
Oh, that was fun though. I enjoyed Mama Beatrix.
Yeah, Mama B.
She was good. Elf Craigslist. Find some sick elf who's been interested in giving his soul to you. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here, and we're going to build some battle maps on Tuesday, and then we'll do some mass combat, and that's going to...
And we should be good to go for a Dicing with Death next Thursday.
Next Thursday, great. And this Sunday is our Fro recap.
Yes, the
Q&A.
Q&A. Is there a word for that?
Q&A. Recap. Post-game chat. Dialogue.
Post-game analysis. Spoilers.
Interview.
Is it a spoiler to say that it's over?
Yeah. But
spoilers. Fuck.
I mean, if you haven't heard that it's over already, you're behind the times. So, like, we plastered everywhere last week that last week's show was the last week's show.
Yeah. We'll talk about that on Sunday.
Come by Sunday.
Tune in. All right. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everybody.
See y'all later.
Also, before we go away, tonight we've got a Rise of the Dragon Queen, and next Tuesday is going to be the first Starfinder game with Anna Prosser, Jenna Bain, Living Pink, and Ruda as our GM, and that's it.